I'm super excited, right? I see everybody in the chat. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Um, this is the M3 workshop. You're in the right place, right? I want to welcome everyone, and I know you have been having an amazing day, right? And this is just going to be the icing on the cake of your day. So we're going to begin right now, and I'm just going to share with us some of the overview about the M3, and then we're going to dive into day one. Are you excited? Let me know if you're excited like I am. Please, I'm going to give the next 1 minute for our interlude, and then I'll be back. In that 1 minute, if you need to get to the loo, please do. If you need to grab water by your side, or get your notes and your biro, your materials, do that and get set, right, so that we can dive into this experience together. This is something you don't want to miss, and you don't want to approach it casually. So I want to say a big welcome once again, everybody. I'll stay in the lobby. I'll catch you in the next 60 seconds, right?
Owoseni is a versatile professional with multi-sectorial experience and deep expertise in life skills, education, learning and development, and youth work. Called to raise young people and mold minds, Abraham is a renowned authority and thought leader in the field of education and youth development with a background in architecture. Using his unique stack method, Abraham helps young adults get clarity of purpose and how it connects in harmony with their careers, relationships, and lifestyle, so they can become more purposeful and productive in life without guesswork and overwhelm. He has trained more than 10,000 young people with the life skills required to live and lead on purpose in life. Skills such as career and leadership development, productivity and innovation, employability skills, self-discovery skills, resilience, social impact skills, presentation skills, among others. Close to 1,000 individuals have been coached for career clarity, with over 500 structured presentations given since 2011 as a public speaker. He is a founder of Young Breed, a faith-based youth-focused non-profit organization promoting children and youth development. He is also the principal consultant of Mind Mold, a human development agency equipping individuals and institutions with mental resources through professional training, coaching, consulting, and publishing. His books, training and mentoring programs, podcasts, coaching sections, and other resources on print and online media has been notable tools in remolding thousands of minds across Africa, North America, Asia, and Europe. He is a life partner to Sarah, an early childhood expert, and is a father to Isaac. Together, they are fulfilling God's purpose with global impact around the world. Please, let's receive with joy Mr. Abraham Owoseni.
Wow, I'm excited and thank you so much for coming on board to this M3 workshop, right? So, I want to welcome us specially again today. We're just diving in straight to this, right? I see the chat. I can see everyone. Welcome from various institutions across the country. Welcome, welcome. Amazing, right? The room is hot, right? So please, if you please do two things right now. Like this video, right? And if you're not subscribed yet, ensure you subscribe so that when we go live tomorrow, you can also get a notification promptly. And for other training materials and resources that will always be on the channel, right? Okay, so let's dive into this. And you've met me, and I know, but let me not assume. For a number of persons may not know me, right? And this is simple. I've summarized my entire life into one single line, which is raising young people and molding minds. Right? That's the summation of my existence on Earth. Right, and I'll be sharing more with you as we go in the workshop on that. And for this purpose, I get to, just like a vehicle going on a mission, it needs fuel in the tank for it to keep going, right? And for me, three things keep keep me going, right? Number one is my passion for youth development, right? I'm passionate to see young people grow holistically, right? And in doing that, I'm passionate about the kind of education that helps them to grow holistically. UNICEF calls it life skills based education. And in all of what I do, I see human capital as the best of resource beyond money, beyond any other thing. Human capital is a big passion for me. So I'm always excited when it has to do with human development, training, mentoring, coaching, and education, teaching, and all that has to do with that value chain. And so my message of holistic development has impacted thousands of lives, and I know in this workshop this will be of a great help to you, right? So this is what I want to do. I mean, promise me I'm not going to laugh at some few pictures I want to show you. If you are going to laugh, then I'm just going to take them back, right? I mean, this was how I looked, right, at my matriculation. That's about how many years ago now? That was in 2007. Yeah, that's with my mom right there. And I want us to do something really, because the goal of M3 workshop is three things: maturity, management, and metamorphosis, right? This was a big burden for me on my spirit, and I just wanted to help a bunch of intentional young adults in the university who can grow in their maturity, right? You're not going to be the same like you are today, right? You can grow in maturity. You can be able to manage your life effectively and the current season you're in, and of course, you can metamorphose with a refined version of your being. That's the goal of M3, and I've experienced it personally in my life. And this was how this was my look at that 2013. I still remember this day like yesterday. So I was making my presentation, defending my master thesis before my assessors in school. That was some years back as well. And this last picture I want to show you, this was recently when I defended my PhD thesis as well. All right, it's been a journey of growth, right? It's been a journey of growth, but in all of these, in this journey, I've learned a number of things, which I'm excited to share with you on this course. Right, I've learned about maturity. I've learned about how one can be better refined and positioned for life, not just within school but outside of school. It pains me a whole lot when I see young adults and how they see the current season of life in school. I mean, it's always a burden for me, because the picture is always just myopic, just within the school shell. What happens within the life after school? That has always been a big burden for me, right? And this is why I want us to go intently on this workshop. Don't miss any part of it. Make this an experience. It's beyond the exams you're going to write, it's beyond the grades you're going to get. This is the real life that school may not tell you, right? I finished with a first class, so I'm not saying that school and first class and all of the class is not good, but there's more about life, right? And that's what I want to go through in this workshop. So as we get along, let me share with you on my teaching facilitation model, right? So that will help you to see and how to get the best of this experience. I always my teaching model is combined with a number of methodology. I embrace life coaching, right, with a blend of youth development and life skills training and spirituality and mentoring. I used a blend of all this method in delivering the learning experience, and over the years, it has always proven to be very impactful for every one of my audience, and I know this will also be great for you. And so I just wanted to share with you about this model, right? And this is my own approach. It's unique to my experience, it's unique to my teaching style, but it's going to be of a great value to you, right? So come along with me. Now let's start this way. I used to say this, and this is what I used to say. I used to say that your life hitherto is a product of all you have done. You know, your life, look at it, for example, whether you are 20 or you are 25 or 27, your life so far now is a product of all you have done. It's about action. What have you done? So if you are currently in a level in the university, it's because you passed the other levels. So you did the other levels well. It's a product of all you have done. If you just got out of the university, it's because you graduated successfully and the school could certify you in learning and character. So they gave you a certificate because of all you have done. However, all you have done is a product of all you know. I'm going to say that again. All you have done is a product of all you know. All you have done is a product of all you know. So there's a connection between what you have done and what you know. In other words, we can summarize that if you know better, most likely you will do better. Do you agree with that? If you know better, most likely you're going to do better. But so the gap is that we are in a knowledge economy. Knowledge is not the issue. I mean, you go online, you can almost learn anything. So how come people are not doing better? How come people are not living better? How come outcomes are not are not predictable? How come? You're in a class, maybe you are 60 or 90, and you go through the same course, and 30 people get a fail, 30 other people pass, 60 other people pass, and you're just wondering, we got through the same knowledge, so what is the difference? So we're in a knowledge economy. Knowledge is not the issue, right? But how come people's actions, behaviors has not changed? How come? Your life is a product of all you have done, but all you have done is a product of all you know. So if you increase what you know, not just what you know, if you increase the right knowledge, because there's not all knowledge is right. There's the right knowledge and there's this effective knowledge. If I increase my right knowledge, then I can improve what I do, right? Now, as I get on through this entire workshop, I wanted to remember something. And needed to give this caveat as we get along, because I found over the years that, some people may say, well, Dr. Abraham, I've learned different things, I've done this, I've done that, but it's good. Most times, the reason why we don't get the best value from learning is that we didn't get the knowledge in the right sequence. So as a learning and development expert, I found that, knowledge, as good as it is, will only give you the fullest of value when it comes at the right sequence. So I used to give a typical example. If you want to construct a building and you have various materials on ground, you have the stone, you have the cement, you have paint, you have the ceiling material, you have the furniture, you have tiles, you have all of that. All those materials are great, but they are irrelevant until when they are needed. Right, so I only use the one I need per time, and I put them in the right sequence. So until I need the paint, until I need the ceiling, until I need the furniture. Else, even if I know all those form of knowledge, it's still useless if I don't know how to arrange them in the right sequence. Why am I saying this? This workshop will give you the right sequence to grow in maturity, right? I mean, think about how you be in the next few months. Someone looks at you. Someone looked at me one time in school. I was in year 2 at the time, and he looked at my work. He said, this looks like a year 4 project. Are you sure you are currently in year 2? I was in year 2. So something will happen really, because you can't guess maturity. You don't guess it. You know if you are growing, and you know if you're not growing. The best value comes when you get the knowledge in the right sequence. And I need to say this as well. Because of the proliferation of knowledge, we live in such a world whereby if your mind is not open, you still can't learn, even if knowledge is available. So although this workshop is going to be very impactful, it will only be impactful to the extent to which your mind is opened. So minds are like parachutes. They work best when they are open. So let me know if you want me to get ahead. I'm going to dive into this, and we're going to go into module 1. Who wants me to go ahead? Put in the chat and go ahead. Let me know. We're going to dive into the experience. And then to do that, I'm keeping to ensure we are on the same page. Let me know if I should go ahead. Then I'm just going to dive in. We have 6 modules in total. Each day we take 2 modules. Right, after the modules we'll take a Q&A session, so prepare your questions ahead of time. You can drop them in the chat, and then we'll take them together. That's one of the benefits why you are live on these calls, right? So we can take every question that comes, right? Should I go ahead? Let me know. I'm excited on this experience, and again, I want to honor you for coming along to this. Right now, if you're using a mobile device, just put in on landscape mode. Use the auto rotate key so that you can be able to see my screen properly, and you can be able to appreciate it better. At this moment, I want to ask you, if you can, to please turn down every form of other distraction around you and just focus on this experience. Right, this is an experience. This is an experience. This is an experience. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so much. All right, now someone sent me this feedback some time back. He said, I woke up this morning and the first question that popped in my mind was why I was becoming lazy and unmotivated. Now, listen to this. He said, I'm a first-class student. Frankly, I'm intelligent, but that is no longer enough. You see where I'm going to now? That is no longer enough. Grade is not enough. That you are in the university is not enough. That you are a student carrying a badge and a card, that you are in the college is not enough. He said, I'm constantly searching for something. I know you came on this workshop because you're just searching for something. You want to be better. He said, this person went on, he said, I know God's purpose for my life is far more than my grades in school. Can you see that? It's far more than your grades in school. He attended one of my workshops, and he said, hearing me this morning and hearing my session, especially asking yourself why, sparked up something in me. I'm more grateful that I didn't miss it. He said, in fact, I wrote in my journal, and that's why I wanted to have a special journal for this workshop. He said, I wrote in my journal today, and not even in my regular notes. Thank you very much, right? And I want you to have an experience like this when we're done with this workshop. It's beyond grades, it's beyond schooling, it's beyond all of that. This is an experience beyond that. This is life in itself coming to you, right? And so let's start with this first module, growing up beyond aging. Growing up beyond aging. Growing up beyond aging. Growing up beyond aging, right? Growing up is almost automatic. Aging rather is almost automatic. But growing up is not automatic. So you can imagine how I look maybe when I'm 90 or 95 thereabout. Look at how I'm going to look. I will really, I would have aged. But that's automatic. I don't need to do anything special beyond just eating and just waking up every single day to every day that I have life in my breath. That's almost automatic. If you don't do anything, your birthday is going to come every year. You don't need to do anything. It's just going to be automatic. Whenever it's the date of your birthday, it's just an automatic thing. It comes by itself. However, growing up is not the same. Our focus in this module is that how can we grow up beyond just aging? I know you celebrate your birthday every year. I see a whole lot of celebration of birthday. Some people even make the noise before the birthday. They tell people, they announce it on time. They put it on their status. Tomorrow is my birthday. Oh, this is the picture you should use. Tag me. And then on the day of the birthday, as they are celebrating them, they are munching the screen. They are putting on their status, sharing it. And I have always asked myself, if 1 million people are celebrating your life, would you have time to do that? Think about it, right? I mean, it's great to celebrate birthday, but is it just beyond about cutting cake and snapping beautiful pictures, going for photo shoots, and then that's all? You do that year in, year out? Is there more? Is there no more than that? Aging is almost automatic, but growing up is not. And so automatically the design is that everything living is designed to grow. That is how God has made it. Everything living is growing. Everything living is growing. We all learned that in biology. So if it's as life, one of the evidence of life is that it is growing. If it is not growing, that something has happened, the life is ceased, or the growth is stunted, or something is just wrong. And so growth is about increasing, developing. And think about it. There was just a time you just couldn't walk. You were crawling. Yeah, just some few years back. I mean, it's not that far. Just a few years back down the line. And you got to a stage in your milestone in your growth, and you started now walking, cruising gradually, and before you know it, you started running. We were now chasing you. Oh, come here, stop there, don't run, don't fall. But this was you. Some years back, you just couldn't walk. You were at the mercy of people carrying you. Think about it. But you've grown today. Some of you are taller than your parents. I mean, and there was just a time you were just carried on their palms. You're growing, but that's just growing in size and complexity. Is there more to that? Is there more to that? So there's something about growth, because although it's great to grow in the body, but if your growth is only in the body, you are relegating other areas of growth. And I see that a lot about young adults in the university. I mean, we spend so much time about growing in our body. Some guys will even put the afro comb in their pocket so that every 30 seconds, 30 minutes, they can brush the hair and trim it up. I see how people spend time in the salon. Ladies and guys get that haircut, get that hairdo. Use to find the latest of style. You just want to look good, fantastic. Put on all of the the perfumes and smell good. I mean, that's amazing. You're growing. You can imagine the way you were dressing when you were year 1, and now you are in year 2, year 3. It has changed. That's great. But you have always relegated other areas of growth. Have you been growing in your soul as well? Have you been growing in your spirit? So it's already clear. What is behind your real life is not this physical flesh I'm seeing. You are primarily a spirit being. So I mean, that's the basis of your existence. So the picture is that you didn't just arrive here by accident. It was not a bank. It was not a bank theory. It was not an happenstance. It was not an accident. It was not some recklessness of some 2 young adults that brought you to bear. No, you were that intentional. And then even medical science have not figured it out how a baby starts to grow and the bones growing in the womb. All we knew was that 9 months down the line, 30th week, 39th week, 40th week, you came out, and then 8 days after they gave you a name, and then some years down the line, you were in primary school. Before we knew it, you were in high school. You got out of the secondary school, and then you got into the university, and then all you've just been living is just schooling. I mean, that's what everybody says you should do. Even when you were not, to this point of awareness, your parents had to even, flog you to go to school. I mean, many of us were flogged to go to school. We didn't want to go to school some days. I remember sometimes when I was in the secondary school, we drive kilometers to go to school. So we have to wake up very early, shower, and then, we drive out. And so I can count 1, 2, 5 days I was dropped because I was not ready when everybody was ready. I mean, and then it was just that way. And then you're now in the university. You're about getting out of the university. But is there more than just about schooling? Is there more? You have relegated other areas of growth. What can you do? What can you do? I'm going to give you a case study right now, right, on how your growth is meant to be. Your growth is not meant to be stunted. Your growth is meant to be what I call holistic. So let's look at this case study. This is a case study of Jesus in scriptures. And so in Luke 2:40, it says, and the child grew. You see it now. The child grew. We're always growing up. And he became strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace, favor, and spiritual blessing of God was upon him. And the child grew. He grew. It was not just aging. He grew. He grew. What are the emphasis of the areas he grew in? He grew in spirit. How did we know? He said he became strong in spirit. One of the evidence of his growth in spirit is that he got favor. He got spiritual blessing. You only get that when you grow in your spirit. He didn't just grow in his body by default. He also grew in his soul. How did we know? He said he was filled with wisdom. Your mind is the seat of wisdom. He said he was filled with wisdom. Wow. So he didn't relegate his growth. He grew holistically. Spirit, soul, and body. SSB for short. He grew. So I want to ask you, have you been growing that way? And someone is asking me, Dr. Abraham, is it that serious? Can I just be myself? Must I grow? I mean, all this form of growth, growing in this, is it not overwhelming? I'm glad to announce to you that it's that serious. It's that serious. It's that serious. And I'm going to tell you why it's that serious. You are not part of the mob. The mob, maybe perhaps in your university you're about 25,000, or you are 10,000, or you are 15,000, as the case may be. You're not part of the masses. No, this is you. And so if everybody is not growing holistically, you should grow holistically. Everybody's growing in the body. I mean, that's the focus. And because of our biological growth, attention is on, all of those, growth, your thickened voice, and then, your baritonic voice, the complexity in the various part of your body growing, and that is almost taking the attention from other areas of growth. It is that serious. And someone is saying, why are you really serious about all of this? I'm going to tell you why. The senseless fool treats life like a joke. There are some people that the way they treat life is just like a joke. I mean, they just say, what is there? Let's just do it anyhow. They're just joking about life. They go anywhere, they do anything. I mean, they just feel it's my life. No, that's a fool. That's a fool that does that. Look at how he says this. He says, the senseless fool treats life like a joke. Everything he is playing with it. A joke, everything, making a joke of everything. And he's only saying, why are you too serious now? If you flex for once. No, I can't. Why? I have understanding. He says, but the one with living understanding makes good choices. So I'm not, it's that serious. I'm not just living anyhow. I can't live anyhow. I can't be as careless for a second. No, I'm not a fool. You are not a fool. You shouldn't live like a joke. Yes, you're in university. Yes, you're on your own. Yes, this is a new season of life, but you are still not meant to live like a joke. It's that serious. It's that serious, right? So your growth must be intentional. Your growth must be intentional. You can imagine what it takes before a seed grows. You actually take the seed, look for a good soil, plant the seed, and then you are watering the seed for it to grow. Was it casual? No. What only happens casually, what grows casually is weeds. Nothing intentionally grows casually. No. Only weeds grow casually. And you are not weed. You are an intentional breed. Your arrival on the earth was not an accident. No. So your growth must be intentional. You must own your growth and grow, just like the case study we saw. Let's look at this. I'm signposting, a sharing on this module. So this was Paul in scripture. He was sharing, and he said, when I was a child, I spoke about childish things. Watch carefully. This is very careful. This is very serious. Again, I don't think I'm even smiling. Yes, you might see me smiling, but this is serious business. He said, when I was a child, I spoke about childish things. And look at it this way. You see people, or maybe you even know them as colleagues, or some of them are currently maybe your close friends, but when we are done from this workshop, you're able to redefine who are really your close friends. Are they still talking childishly? It's fine if you talk like a child. That's not a surprise for you to talk like a child when you were a child. I spoke about childish things. What are childish things? Gossip? Just, ranting on social media? what does not add value to life, those are childish things. Childish things. Just going about campus without aim, childish things. A child will just be roaming aimlessly. He doesn't even know there's something called road. He can just run into a road. You have to run after him and pick him and say, this one is road though. If you the cars can knock someone down on the road, he doesn't know. He just moves anyhow. That's a child. Speaks about childish things when you were a child. Not only that, he said, I saw things like a child. His perspective to life was like a child. And he just, a child doesn't know. A child doesn't know much about life. He can even put his hand in fire, and then once he knows that, oh, this thing is burning, and he removes it. The perspective to life, it doesn't say anything serious. It's still a child. And it's permissible for children. He said, I saw things like a child. Have you been living that way? You just see things like, casually. What's really special about this? He said, I reasoned like a child. Even his thinking was like a child. He couldn't think critically. Why do you think people like memes and they like all of the? One day I was on a call with somebody, and when I was done, we had spent almost an hour on the call, and I had some background noise, and I was asking. He said some of his flatmates. They were listening to memes for almost an hour. It doesn't take critical thinking to listen to memes. You just be laughing and just say, that doesn't take any critical thinking. And then give the person something else to watch, a message or a session or a thought leadership session to listen to. 1 hour is already sleeping. But if it's to memes, it listens to that for hours. It's to watch series. It doesn't need any critical thinking skill to do that. He reasoned like a child. That is how you can give a child, just give him maybe some cartoon or some of their, videos. They stay there for hours. That's how they can see life. That's how they reason. But not you in the university spending hours just watching movies. No, not you. That's a child. He said, I reason like a child. And some people even go to the essence and say, I beg you, get movie for there, give me movie. And then someone just loads gigs of movies without any recommendation, without any filtering. You are just exposing yourself just like that. Are you that vulnerable to just any movie? Oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's for children. Yeah, I reason like a child. I saw things like a child. You see movies on recommendation. You shouldn't just see anything. He said, but a day came like this M3 workshop. He said, but a day came like this. A day came like this. Guess what happened? He said, I became mature. When I matured, I set aside my childish ways. Did you see that? I set aside my childish ways. I wasn't doing things again like a child. Put it in your chat. Say to yourself, if you are really confident about that and you're sure you're not a child, put it there, I'm not a child. I'm not a child. I'm not a child. He said, I set aside my childish ways. And so you know some people when you see them, you see that this one is still a child. Although he has a big body, but he's still a child. A child in a big body. But you can actually set aside childish ways. Not that you can't be a child, but you intentionally set aside childish ways. That is why growing up is intentional. Growing up is intentional. Growing up is intentional. So I want you to take a reflection right now, and this is why this is a workshop. All through the workshop, I'll be asking you to do a number of things. It's hands-on. Don't miss them. Do them promptly as we get along with them. This is the first reflection I want to do. So I want to ask you. Just think about 2 years ago from now, or 4 years if you can, and ask yourself, what has changed? What areas have you grown? Have you grown, really? What has changed for you? Think about it. What has changed? Just take a quick reflection. What has changed? What has changed? Has your thinking changed? Has your reasoning changed? Is it the things you see, have they changed? Or the association, the circle you move with, have they changed? The things you read, have they changed? The things you write, have they changed? The way you speak, has it changed? What has changed? This is a very sincere reflection you need to do. What has changed? You don't need to uh, you know, be dishonest about this. What has changed? What has changed? What has changed? What has changed? Has your understanding changed? The things you see, your sight, has it changed? Sight talks about perspective. Your perspective to life, has it changed? When I was growing up, my father told me that I always wanted things immediately. That's one of the thing of one of the behavior of a child. So I will say, Daddy, I need a bicycle, and I'll say I need it now. And then if I don't get it now, I'm crying, tantrums, and all of that. That's a child. I didn't know that, even for a bicycle to come, there's something called purchase, and after you purchase, then supply. I didn't know that. I just felt it's just going to be a tap of a button and it's there. What has changed? As your perspective to life changed. Some people in the university, they've not called their parents and guardians for months. That's the child. That's a child. Someone who took care of you from when you were a child, a baby. And then you are growing in the body, but you are assuming that to be maturity. And you have not even called to say, hello, how are you doing? Those days when I was back from the university, after every semester, I do a little form of a gift. I just use a cardboard. I just do a kind of like a plaque kind of stuff, and I just write some things there. And when I get home, I look for somewhere in the room of my parents, and I just stuck it somewhere they won't quickly see, and I just run away. And then, of course, in the course of the day, they might get to see it, and then when they see it, they call me in to their room, and I just go flat on the floor. I just say, thank you for this semester. Thank you for your care. Thank you for the allowance you sent to me. I didn't take it for granted. I'm not just entitled to it. Thank you for it. And they just begin to bless me, and they just begin to pray with me. Children can't think of that. What has changed for you? Can you even get to a point whereby you don't wait for allowance, you send resources to your parents and guardians? What has changed? Are you done with this reflection? Now, some people are babies in big bodies. Babies in big bodies. Babies in big bodies. And this is a very, very dangerous place to be. Babies in big bodies. Wow. They are tall. They are charming to look physically. They are slay queens, as they say, but they are still babies in their big bodies. Any challenge, they are already crying. They are sobbing like a child. Yes, it's good to be vulnerable, expressing it when you have pain, but it can be guarded. And it's actually okay to be a child. It only becomes a concern when you are still a child in an adult's body. Whoa. A child in an adult's body, that's the concern. You are a child in an adult's body, that's the concern. So what do we need to do? We need to grow up. We need to grow up. Growing up beyond aging. And someone is asking me, really, why really grow up? I said, I'm going to give you a quick one. Why you need to grow up as a young adult right now is that capacity and responsibilities are coming in the journey of life. And people always say, oh, well, that guy failed. Just look at, for example, in school, you just see a colleague and, he failed a course or something. And people just say, how did he fail? And everybody just trying to wonder, but this guy, they come class now. This guy, they read now. They send for library. What happened? Why? What happened? People don't just fail. What actually fails is the capacity. Yeah. Watch closely. People don't just fail. What fails is the capacity. I'm going to give you an example. Many of us have perhaps you've heard about building collapse before, unfortunately, or you have seen or just seen when it, either it's a controlled demolition or as the case may be. What fails when a building collapse is the fact that the building could not carry its weight, and so the support was weak. It couldn't carry the weight of the building, so the building collapsed. And so when people fail, it's not people that fail themselves, but their capacity to carry weight is what failed. The capacity was not enough. And so a person failed an exam not because he's not good, he's a bright guy, he's a bright lady, but a capacity to prepare was not enough. So why did the relationship fail? Their capacity to build up in relationship wise was not enough. They thought it was just about smelling good and looking good and hanging out every evening. So the relationship failed because they didn't grow enough capacity. So what fails is the capacity, not people. So you need to grow up so that you can build capacity quickly. Quickly. Let me give you an example again. So there's this toddler. This toddler weighs 12 kg, right? And then this toddler wants to carry a bag of cement, and this bag of cement is 50 kg. So let's do the maths. Can the boy carry the bag? Can the boy carry the bag? Do the maths for me. Can he carry the bag? He's 12 kg in his own mass. That's his entire weight from head to toe. And he wants to carry a bag of cement that is 50 kg. Is it possible? So when you put the bag on the child, what happens? The child will either fall. So it was not the child that failed, or the child that, it was that the child did not have the capacity to carry that weight at that time. You see it now. And so, but the guy grows up from being a toddler, and it's now maybe 50 kg in mass, or it's now 60 kg in mass, or it's 45 kg in mass, or as the case may be. He can carry more things because his capacity has grown. So people don't just fail. It's capacity that fails. So if you don't want to fail, you want to grow in maturity, all you need to do is to grow in capacity. Grow in capacity. Remember where we started from. 1 Corinthians 13:11. It said, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. My thinking was like a child. Everything was like a child. I felt like a child. But when I grew up, I want to ask you, are you going to make today the day where you actually decide to grow up? Because there must be that day you decide to grow up. It's not a mass thing. It's not a mass decision. It's not a group decision. He said, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. This is the time you need to grow up. Will you make today that day where you decide to grow up? You must be intentional about it. If you have made that decision, then I can ask you to come up either. If you have decided that you want to grow up, then let's get to the next level. If you have not, I'm so sorry, I may not be able to help. But if you have actually decided to grow up, and you have made that day the day you decide to grow up, then I'm speaking to you. So what grows actually? What grows? Is it the body that grows? In the physical realm, the body grows. The various organs grow. Your chest is wider. Your body grows. Your thigh is longer. Your hands grow longer. Imagine your body is still the same size as you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So you have grown. But in this context, what grows? Aging alone grows the body. But what grows actually for maturity? What grows for maturity? Is it the size of the body? No. What grows for maturity? It is the mind that grows for maturity. It is the mind that grows for maturity. What grows for maturity is the mind. What grows for maturity is the mind, not the body, not the organ, not the size of the organ. As young adults, there's this deception because, some organs are now growing, especially the sexual organs. They are growing. And then, you're feeling like a man as a woman. That kind of a feeling. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a woman. No. What grows for maturity is the mind, from within before without. Why is that so? I'm going to give you the reason as well. This is the reason. Some people's mind is in a cage, is locked, it's not growing. Although the body is growing, but it's just caged. And there's a rule of thumb to it. This rule of thumb is that be careful how you think. Why? Your life is shaped by your thoughts. So remember that scripture again. He said, when I was a child, I thought like a child. So, but when I grew up, when my mind grew up, my thinking changed, because it's my thinking that shapes my life. Let me break this down some more. Look at this. Many of us might have, maybe you might have seen when a building is being constructed, and you pass by a building construction site, and one of the things you see on the site is maybe when they are casting the pillars, the columns, and then they build this wooden formwork around it, so that when they are done, they now begin to pour the concrete inside. And so what it did was that, when they are done with the formwork, they now start, pouring the concrete inside. They pour it gradually. They pour it gradually until it fills the entire height of the formwork. All right? Are we together? When they're done with that, they leave the formwork to dry. They make everything compacted. Now, engineers say that in the engineering principle, 21 days after they leave the concrete to dry, the concrete has achieved its highest state of hardness. They say the concrete has set. The concrete has set, meaning that you can't break this thing easily. It's already formed. And then, that's it. If you want to break it, you're going to need to chisel and do all of those Herculean tasks. And so it's difficult. And so, that's the same with our mind. When you were born, your mind was like a tabula rasa. It was just like the formwork. But then the various things that came into your mind, the experiences, the exposure, the environment you have been to, the people you have kept as your colleagues, as your friends, as your close associates, all of those things, they are like the concrete that have been going into your mind. Unconsciously, consciously, they've been going into your mind. They've been going into your mind. They've been going to your mind. And over the years, just like they say, 21 days has passed. Those things have now formed the governing authority of how you think subconsciously. So those things have now formed a mindset on how you think. So the concrete has now set. The experiences, the thoughts, every information you have exposed yourself to, they have now set in your mind. So we call it mindset. And so those things are now the ones directing and driving your actions, directing the people you speak with, directing how you think, directing what you say, directing how you say it. You just see some young people, they just talk casually and unguardedly. If your colleagues are those who use the F word, they are unguarded people. You shouldn't move with people like that. Those are children. They just talk anyhow. Nothing, no restraint, no courtesy. They disrespect people easily. You are moving with the wrong people. And unconsciously to you, it has affected your mindset as well. So what grows for maturity is the mind. But the mind is not on its own. So what can you do? And I know you are in school. Because you are in school, people say, I hear this word, they say, go to school. What did they send you to go to in school? Go and learn. Go and read your book. Someone is trying to join an association, and some people are just snubbing at him and saying, is that what they sent you to do in school? Go and read your book. Unfortunately, the person didn't know the meaning of schooling. I did a research in 2017. I called it the purpose of schooling, and I did a survey. It's a scientific article. I was asking people, what did schooling do for you? Was it just a certificate you got from school? Was it just the engineering certificate you got from school? Or the BA, or the BSc, or the BTech, or the BSc, whatever it is? Was that just all the school gave to you? My survey revealed that was not it. And that's why I'm saying to you that your mindset is more important than your skill set. Yes, it's great for you to be aiming at getting that degree, but your mindset is going to be more important than the skill set of that degree. Thousands of people are going to finish from school with the same skill set like you. But guess what? These thousands of people are going to have different skill sets. And so these thousands of people are now looking for how they can add value to the global economy. And people are now looking for who has a mindset that is positive, a mindset that is forward thinking, a mindset that is critically in his articulation, a mindset that can add value. Not just the skill set. The skill set is generic. Everybody has the same certificate like you do. Nothing is special about that. What is special is your own unique mindset. Have you not noticed before someone looks at you, experiences you for some few days, and you say, I like your attitude. I like the way you think. I like you. I like your attitude. I like your disposition to work. It wasn't just the skill set. Your mindset. Your mindset. Your mindset. Your mindset. So what can you do now? It's simple. Grow up. Yeah, that's it. What can you do now? Grow up. And I'm going to close this module by showing you how you can grow up. What can you do now? Grow up. Growing up comes by learning. In the physical body, you eat healthy meals to grow. Is that so? For the soul, I mean, that's where we're signposting on. The mind. What do you do to grow in the mind? Is it food? No. What kind of food? Growing up comes by learning. It comes by you programming and reprogramming your mind. Come to think of it, when you came into the university, they called your course of study a program. Is that so? Do you know why they called it a program? They called it a program because over the next 4 years and 5 years, as the case may be, they wanted to do something in your mind. They wanted to put some things in your mind such that when you're now done, they can certify and say, oh, we certify you in learning and character, and because of that, we give you this certificate of engineering, of this, of bachelor, of arts, of science, of XYZ. They've programmed your mind. The same way your mind has been programmed in all other areas of life. The songs you have been listening to have programmed your mind. Unconsciously to you, they affect how you behave. They affect how you think. 95%, science has proven that 95% of action is subconscious. You don't think about it. Someone just tells you, let's do this. You didn't think about it, you just answer quickly. In seconds. What took the action was not your conscious mind, it was your subconscious mind, your mindset. The things you have watched, the things you have seen, they are what is affecting how you behave. But there's a way out. What can you do? You can reprogram your mind. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's taking time for you to get the degree you are getting right now. So it's going to take time as well to reprogram your mind. But of course, it's great you can start today. If you start today, you're on the journey to reprogramming your mind. You start today, you're on a journey to reprogramming your mind. And you can reprogram your mind not just in an area. Remember we said it's not about a relegated growth. We don't want growth in one area. For example, you are growing in your academics. Yes, that's great. That's great. But we don't want growth in your academics alone. Can you grow towards your career? Can you grow in your spiritual life? Can you grow emotionally? Can you grow socially? Can you grow towards your marital life? All of this requires you to grow now. Your current season is not just about schooling. You can prepare for life as a whole. So growing up is not just about writing exams. We prepare a lot for exam. And all through the semester, all you're doing is reading books, which are great. But I want to show you how you can grow in such a way that while you are still in the university, you can grow holistically. You're not stunted in other areas of life. I saw a video, someone was asking some young people, he just asked them, he said, what do you understand? They just listened to something. He said, what do you understand by that? The guy couldn't express himself, he was just stuttering. I think I saw, he couldn't articulate his mind. Perhaps he has not been growing in that area. Years down the line, you'll be surprised that even what you're learning in school will become obsolete. Growing holistically. Growing up comes by learning. So you need to consciously now reprogram your mind. I'm going to show you a template you can use to do that. I call it the personal development planner. This is how the planner works. You can use this planner by month or by a quarter being 3 months, or a month as the case may be. I could recommend monthly, but if that's too cumbersome for you, you can make it maybe 2 months or a quarter. This is how this planner works. This is your growth planner, and this is how it works. You can take a screenshot of this page, or just note it down in your notes. I'm just going to walk you through how you can make use of this planner. This is a vital resource that will change your growth plan. You'll be amazed how you would have grown in few months when you start growing this way. One of the ways, I did a podcast some weeks back, and I was just sharing around this as well. One default way to grow is just go on social media, scroll to the feed, like some posts you see, this one makes sense, you save it and then you comment and all that. That's just a default way to grow. But there's a better way to grow. The other way is not consistent, it's random, it's just a facade. So tomorrow I come again on YouTube, I just find one video. This video makes sense. You are inspired and motivated. But your growth is stunted. It's just like eating anything you find on the road. No, you curate your growth. You can articulate your growth, curate the learning resources for your growth. It's not by accident. You don't grow by accident. Imagine somebody trying to have 6 packs, for example, and then he just eating anything, doing anything, not exercising, and then 2 months he just feels, oh, 6 packs will come. No, it's intentional. Your growth can be intentional. This is the first layer. The first column talks about the area of growth. Here you can define the area you want to grow in. Actually, I specify the areas you should grow in. Your career talks about your work, including your academics and your finances. I used to do something when I was in the university. I had my timetable in the university. I pasted it on the side of my wardrobe in the hostel. On the other side of my wardrobe in the hostel, I pasted a timetable I call personal development timetable. They were not disturbing each other. My personal development timetable, I had something similar to this. I was not as guided as that to have it as structured as this, but I had something similar. And then I was defining where I wanted to grow in. Okay, this month I want to grow in this area. We're not being taught in class about it. We're not being taught in school about it. It was my conscious area of growth. And I remember one of those days, we're done with the exams, and I was just going to the library to just go continue my personal development timetable, right? And one of my classmates saw me, and he was surprised. He just said, where are you going to? We don't finish exam now. I just smiled and walked away. He only knew timetable, which is what other colleagues like you might know. But you are not a child again. You are intentional about your growth. That beyond just the school timetable, you can have your own personal development timetable. And it looks like this planner. You are growing towards your career life. So beyond even what you're studying in school, what skill set can I grow in? Right? Your career. Your lifestyle. Name it, your habits. I want to change my habits with regards to XYZ. My attitude. You already know. Some. You see, this is how this planner works. In the second column, you are going to be very honest with yourself, and every month or quarter, as the case may be, pick a concern or a challenge, an area you want to resolve. So let's take an example. Your lifestyle. You have this attitude, and you know within your heart that this attitude is not going to take me far. I can't stand before kings with this attitude. I always get so angry. I break things when I'm angry. What can I do? Just be vulnerable enough to identify that the beginning point of growth is self-awareness. That you know what you want to grow in. Some other people are proud and arrogant. They are high-minded, and they will never acknowledge that they need to grow in an area. But you are not a child. Remember, that's a child. You collect biscuit from a child, and then you give him back, and you say, "Give me one." He say, "No." But I'm the one that gave you the biscuit. He's a child. You try to correct a child from something, he's crying and saying because you corrected a child. That's a child. You are not a child. You are growing up beyond aging. Identify the area of concern you want to grow in. Relationships in this context talks about your family, your friends, your colleagues. I want to improve in how I communicate with the opposite sex. I find it difficult to communicate with them. That could be a challenge, whatever it is. Or I want to be a better friend. I don't know how to really. I've not mastered friendship. I only just call people for every time I need them. I'm a selfish person. I want to break that jinx on me. How about your spiritual life? Your walk with God. You are primarily a spirit being. Your schooling is not just about putting your Bluetooth earpiece on your ears, jamming music, chilling with the big boys. Schooling is more than that. You are a spirit being. Are you growing in that area? I was talking to some young adults some time back, and I told them, you are back from the Christmas break. You are back from the holiday. Great. But what did you do all through the break? Maybe your parents, all they saw you was just watching movies all through the day. They saw you and then maybe one of those days your parents even came to your room. They just picked one of your notes or one of your journals, and they were just looking at it, and all they were just seeing was they couldn't. There's nothing critical they could even hold on to. Someone should hold your journal and be blessed reading something from it. Imagine you give a call to your parents and you begin to say something like, "Hello Dad, how are you doing today? Hope you're good. I just wanted to share with you. Do you mind? I want to share with you. Do you mind? Do you have? Can you spare 5 minutes? I want to quickly share something with you. Your dad is wondering, oh, you want to share something with me? That must be serious. It means he's excited because you have not called him like that before. Before that time, you were a child, but now you are not a child again. And then he listens to you, and you're saying, "Well, you know, I've been studying on something this month. I've been growing in this area, and I've been finding some things. I just wanted to share with you. I was actually praying yesterday, and God was telling me about X, Y, Z. I mean, and your dad is wondering, God telling you? Oh, great. Tell me more about it, because he's just surprised. You've never said that before. Or you see, your parents saw you when you were still on diapers. Yes, you might not be on diaper again right now, but they still see you like that. You are still their child. They still see you as a child, but you want to change the paradigm. You know that you are not a child again. But it's not just going to happen by saying it, by just shouting at them. No, you can't shout at your parents and think you're going to go your way. No, that's not going to happen. You need to grow up. You need to show the maturity by how you say what you say and what you say. And then you begin to say some things and they're wondering, this guy is growing, this girl is growing. Something is changing about her. Is this not the same boy we knew before? And he's telling me, and then you're saying, well, Daddy, I was praying yesterday. I want to. It's like there's something you want to do, the project you want to start on. I want to tell you something about that project. Don't start it yet. Are you sure what you're saying? I mean, just wondering. Tell me more. You're growing your walk with God. You're not just here to school for life. All of this schooling will soon end. Schooling is for a season. It's not for life. It's for a season with a reason. Yes, your education is for life, but you're not going to be in a formal schooling, a forward for life. So while you're in this school, don't just live for school alone. Live for life. That's a better way to live. Think about it. And any other area you want to grow in, you can identify that. And then in the third column in this planner, what you are now writing is, okay, what changes do I actually want? Someone came to me the other day and was saying, Dr. Abraham, what books do I read? And I was almost clueless to recommend one or two books. Yes, there are many books you can read, but like I said, that is one way of growing. Anything you find, just speak it. It's a good book, no problem. But you didn't plan to read it. It was just accidental reading. You go to a place, you just pick a magazine. Accidental reading, those are fine. They are generic reading. But specific knowledge, specific growth is not going to come by that way. You're going to come based on the result you want. So what result do you want? You want to improve your communication skill. Okay. You knew the problem was that you stutter a lot. You can't even communicate intelligently. Okay. I find it difficult to write comprehensively. Or you just want to improve on your work skill. Maybe you want to improve on your email communication skill. Okay. What outcome do you desire? To be able to communicate better in my email correspondence. I'm very professional in how I communicate to others by mail. Okay, great. That's the result you want. Fantastic. Go to the next column. What learning resources can help you achieve that growth? Remember, all of this, they won't teach you in school. Nobody will come and now teach you, okay, come and learn this. You are learning the technical areas of what you're studying in school, but you can grow in other areas of life all intentionally. And then you pick a book, you go online, you be now going to find resources, you curate them meaning that you collate what you need, not just anything you find. Okay, I need a resource, how to send mails to people professionally. Enter. You went on Google. Okay, great. You see different results. You are studying them. Which one will be valuable? You are studying them. You open some in tabs, you find some articles, you go on YouTube, how to communicate email professionally. Great. You find a video that takes you through. Or you keep going. You find a course that tells you how to, communicate professionally with people by mail, even if you never knew them before. Wow. You look for the course, even if the course has a price tag on it, you pay for it. So some form of truth is not going to come just by free. Truth will come, you need to pay for it. So he says, buy the truth, don't sell it. You buy the course, and then you create all of this together. And then you go to the next line. You put them into a timeline. Okay, when do I want to take this course? I'm going to take this course in the first 2 weeks of this month. Okay, great. Okay, this article and these YouTube videos, I found 5 YouTube videos on how to communicate with people professionally by email as an example we're using. Okay, when am I going to watch them? Okay, I'm going to watch 1 per day. In this week, I should finish it. I'm only watching each one is 1 hour in duration. I'm watching 1 per day. What time am I going to watch it? I'm going to watch it early in the morning, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, great. And then you start your growth. That is how to grow. When you're done from that episode, perhaps that month or that quarter, across these areas of life, areas of growth, you come to the last column and you're not asking yourself, what has changed for me? And you might even ask people that are really close to you, people you have communicated with by mail in the last 2 months, have you noticed any changes in my mail? And then they tell you, that's true, I noticed it. And I wanted to tell you, the last time you sent me, I was wondering, is this not this guy? He was now typing like he was a CEO. You just be nodding your head and be smiling. Okay, it's working. Something is changing. I'm not a child again. Someone sends me a mail and just dumps the attachment to me. No subject. Nothing. That's a child. That's a child. But you need to grow to learn that. You need to grow. Someone sent me a mail the other day. The subject was also the body. So there was no body. Everything was in the subject. You need to grow. I help as many as I can, but you need to grow intentionally yourself. Any area of growth you want, you need to define a challenge per time. Imagine how you would have grown in a year if you grow like this. If you grow like this, whatever it is, there's no barrier, no challenge that is too difficult for you to grow in. There's none. There's none. Who is finding this planner valuable? Let me know. Put in the chat, this is valuable. Let me know if this planner is valuable for you. This is how to grow. This is the apex of how you can grow up beyond being a child. This is how you can grow up. This is how you can grow up. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm going to close this module right now, and then we're going to take a 2-minute stretch break, so you could just stretch as the case may be. But let me know if this planner has been very valuable for you. This is amazing. This is how to grow. This is how to grow. This is how to grow. I'm looking for a few persons. This is not for the masses. This is not for the masses. Few persons who can take it up intentionally. If you are looking at this, like I shared earlier on, put your device in the landscape mode and increase your settings to a high resolution so you can see it clearly. Right? This is how to grow. If you are looking at it in the portrait, you can't see it clearly. If you are not on the highest resolution, you can't see it clearly. But this is how to grow. Thank you, David, for that. This is how to grow. Yeah. It's not accidental. It's not accidental. This is how to grow. This is how to grow. Right? So we're just going to go on a stretch break. I'll stay in the lobby the next 2 minutes. I'll be back and just stretch your body, and then we'll just be back on this. Right. back on the last module for today, right? Please, let's sign in. Let's know you are back. Let's know you are back. Who is back? Put it there. I'm back. I'm back. Let me know you're back on the call. So we'll just dive into module 2 for today. Awesome. Thank you. I see the chat buzzing. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Glad you're finding it very valuable. The planner has been very helpful. Awesome. Awesome. I see that. Thank you. Truly amazing. Let's keep it coming. Awesome. Awesome. Great. We're gonna get the replays. So not to worry about. And then it will be shared on the group as well. Right. Okay, great. You're back. So I want us to dive into module 2 right now, so we can make progress and close for today. Right? Who is excited? I'm always excited, and it's just a thing of joy to work with bright, intentional minds like yours to achieve more from life, right? And that's what M3 workshop is about, right? So we're just going to take it a step further, and we just finished module 1. Who got great value from module 1? Growing up beyond aging. Growing up beyond aging, it was terrific. It was terrific, amazing. So we're going to module 2 right now, and I want you to, stay connected, right? Stay connected, right? Module 2, if you miss module 1, you miss the whole lot, right? Module 2, we're diving into module 2 right now, and I want you to stick around, right? We're going to close in the next few moments. Growing in clarity. Growing in clarity. That's the title of module 2. Growing in clarity. Growing in clarity. Growing in clarity. That's the title of module 2. Growing in clarity. Wisdom beyond grades. Wow. Yeah. Wisdom beyond grades. When I was in year 1, I mean, that's a typical picture of anybody in school, which is fine. I try to balance everything to help you understand it. I also wanted good grades. There was actually a semester I had a D in a course. It was almost a failure. Those kind of grades close to F. Of course, I was wiser. I met a colleague. I improved the next semester. I was better and all that. So I actually got good grades in school. There was one of my semesters I had close to a 5-point GPA. Right, I had a 4.99. So that semester I had all A's except one C. So I had a 4.99 GPA. So grades was not a problem for me. And then I finished the first class. Grades was not a problem, right? But what if I tell you there's more beyond grades? Yeah. What if I tell you there's more beyond grades? Think about it. There's more beyond grades. There's more beyond grades. And this is the wisdom of it. You need to grow in clarity. When you look at it, grade is a function of your senses. So we have the 5 senses. We hear, we smell, the mouth, taste, and all of that. Sight. We have all those 5 senses. So grade is just a function of your senses. But guess what? Clarity is a function of your essence. Clarity, there's a difference between, for me, my sense gave me a first class, but my sense could not give me more than a first class. My sense could not give me clarity about life, clarity about what to do after school. My sense was limited in that, but my sense gave me first class. It's just to read, study your books, I'd be articulate, recall, understand, put things together, and boom, you're good. But your sense is still limited to navigating you for life. And so someone may be using his senses, yet is not mature enough. Why? Maturity is beyond just using your 5 senses. Maturity comes much more when you grow to a level beyond senses. I call that level essence. Essence is where you have much more meaning to life. And suddenly you find your schooling more intentional. You are more intentional even when you are in school. I don't know, you might have experienced this before. For me, I just noticed that you just notice that I didn't lose enthusiasm when I was in school, because I just knew why I was in school, and I knew that okay, I'm in school for this season, with a reason, and I just focused on what the reason was, and I was out of school. But your senses is still limited. And I remember that day just like yesterday. One of my colleagues, a very close friend, we were walking into a class. We are just going for a lecture. Just picture you're just walking with a colleague. You are going for class. I was already in my fourth year, which is why if you're concluding here in school and you are on this call, this is great for you. This is great for you. And I was just about to graduate from school. Although, like I told you, grades was not the issue, but my grade was still limited. I needed wisdom beyond grades. I didn't know major things. I was not clear about major things about life. Okay, after school, okay, what else? Beyond my grade, what else? Beyond my course, what else? I didn't get clarity on some areas. So all I just knew was the default thinking every typical young adult thinks of. Finish from school, go for the national service, get a job, as they say, settle down, as they say, and then, build assets, get married, increase your investment portfolio, and then raise your children. And I remember some people tell me, when I ask this question, they say, let them raise you. And when your children raise you, also, what is next about that? That's just a typical, almost a rat race. We can predict it. But your grade cannot tell you more about all these areas of life. Your grade ends on the paper. But clarity takes you on beyond paper. Clarity takes you on much more in life. Clarity even tells you the kind of jobs you should apply for. Clarity tells you what you should do with your skills. Clarity tells you what to even get married to. They don't teach that in school. You need clarity beyond the grades. Yes, it's good to get the good grades, but I used to say this, that when the certificate opens the door, what keeps the door open? Food for thought. Think about it. I'm going to say it again. When the certificate opens the door, what keeps the door open? When the certificate opens the door, what keeps the door open? Think about it. Food for thought. Certificate, yes, you got a first class. They screened you and they said, we want first class graduates only. We want second class upper. Great, you got into the door. After you're now gotten into the door, what keeps the door opened? Beyond certificate right now. It's beyond certificate. I want you to do something. And this is the major plea, for you, because remember, we are building on an experience. We just finished the module and we shared that I'm not a child again. I can't think like a child again. I want you to note this down and affirm this to yourself. Write this down in your note. I can't follow the masses again. I can't follow the masses again. I must be the mass. Physics tells us mass is that constituent, that component that has its weight, right? It just knows where it should be. I can't just keep following the masses, just doing what every other person is doing, going to where they are going to, and then that's what happens. Everybody's just following. They call it the bandwagon effect. This one is doing this, everybody's doing this. Some of us even doing to the point of you copying other people's assignments. No, you're not a child again. You see, the resultant effect of the things you do is not about the things you do themselves, but the habits they ingrain in you over time. I'm going to say it again. The resultant of the things you do is not about the things you do personally themselves, but the resultant habits they ingrain in you over time. So if you're a person that copies people's assignments, right, you let them finish it, and when they are done, you just copy. Unconsciously to you, you are putting a concrete in your mind that dictates how you should react to life. That you can't think critically. You just have to follow the masses. Unconsciously to you. Let's go to this place. No, I can't follow the masses. The question is, why should I follow them? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Everybody has the right to say anything. Someone comes to you and says, hey, can we go to this place? No, I shouldn't go anywhere or everywhere. there's a model where we're going to go through this. I'm going to show you practical scripts you can use on learning to say no. Don't follow the masses. Don't follow the masses. And for me, I'm always concerned because many young adults in the university are not thinking beyond school. And maybe the reason is because to even get into school, you spent time in school. Some people even they stayed maybe at home for some few years, and when they got to school, it was a real miracle, and that was just the expectation. Let me just get to school, make I just get admission, and finally you got the admission, and there's nothing else you are thinking about life than that. Maslow calls that, in his Maslow hierarchy of needs, he calls that the physiological needs. That's the highest. If you look at the triangle, that's the fattest, the base. I call it baseline living. Well, just go to school, just write the exam. Even when you are going to school, they're telling you get good grades. And the reason they're even telling you to get good grades is not for the right reason. They're telling you for the wrong motivation. They tell you so that you can get a good job. Get good grades because I want to understand what I'm learning. I want to be articulate with my learning, not just because of just an external motivation of a good job. Yes, it's going to get me a good job if I need that eventually, but I'm getting a good grade not just for the job, but because I actually understand and I'm in touch with my learning, and it's showing in my results. It's as simple as that. But guess what, guys? The masses are just thinking about just come to school, while they wait time, chill around. It's just a rat race. You can predict it. Go for lectures. Some days stab the lecture. Man shall not kill himself now. No, that's a child. Remember, you're not a child again. And then from lecture, go to the hostel, go chop, just come back, chill with guys, spend some hours, hang out. After hangouts, you might come and sleep, you rinse again and start the cycle again. No to baseline living. That's just baseline living. Sleeping, eating, waking. Sleeping, eating, waking. No. There's more. I told you the story how even when we're done from exam, I was going to continue my own personal development timetable. And this classmate who didn't understand that, I can't blame him, but perhaps if he was on a call like this, it would be more articulate and guided to that area of life. He said, why? Is there more to first class? That's even what he told me. He said, is there more to first class? He thought I was just running about grades. But I had a form of wisdom beyond grades even at the time. Clarity. Growing in clarity. This is what gives you more maturity. Not just how baritonic your voice is or how beauty your shape is as a lady. And people are just saying, this girl fine, ma. No, all that doesn't grow clarity. No to baseline living. The apex of that triangle is where he calls it self-actualization. And in actual fact, it's not even self-actualization. It's beyond that. We call it fulfillment, purposeful fulfillment, where you live to a point whereby you are thinking beyond yourself. Not just me, myself, my family. Now, think about this. Everybody's always driven by something. Everybody. There's no lie about this. Everybody's driven by something. Maybe you are even in school because someone just told you when you finish from school, I go get you one mad job. You just finish. Call me like this. Say, I don't finish. You go some people are in school because someone has promised them just finish this BS. Once you feel like it, I go just give you one. You go come do masters for my country. No. Everybody's driven by something. Whether good, whether bad, something is driving them. The way you behave, something is driving you. Whether you know it or you don't know it, consciously or unconsciously. And it's simple. Have you seen any car moving before without a force? There's no motion without a force exerting it to move. A case in point. Newton gave us an example in his first law. He said, a body will remain at rest at a constant speed in a straight line. At rest. Unless, you see it now, the body is either just at rest or moving. Unless there is an external force acted upon it. Unless it is acted upon by a force. And so, a force pushes somebody, pull somebody to get into motion. It's a force. It's a force, right? And so you wonder. Some people say they just don't. They just want to sleep. I mean, someone sleeps up to 12 noon. That's something. Something is wrong, but it's not perturbed. There's a force at work. There's a force at work. It just feels, your school. I don't have lectures. Make I just sleep now. No, it's not normal. As a child, you don't have lecture. Your life living every day in school is not because you have lectures. You are building your life. You are building an habit for life after school. So you wake up at 5. You go through your morning routine, getting set for the day. It's not about the lecture. You have your own routine. That's wisdom. But it's a force. If there's nothing propelling you that way, you just see it as for fun. You remember the scripture we had the other time? The fool just sees life like a joke. Just like a joke. He doesn't see it serious. People say, why are you so serious? Why are you so... It's because I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool. That force, this kind of force I'm talking about, that can give you clarity beyond grace, is called purpose. Purpose. This is the force that will push you. I mean, while in school, and even across various roles I've had in the higher education, I've seen people, young adults in university, I've seen different things. I remember there was a time, you see some people that their parents actually have to come to school, to the university, just to beg for them that something happened. That's a child. That's a child. Your parents shouldn't come to, you are inconveniencing them, and they're just coming because you have not guarded yourself and behaved well. That's a child. That's a child. And because they delayed in 1 day or 1 week in sending the allowance, you are now calling and shouting at your mother and your father. That's a child. And then they are in school, and then they're not just, nothing is pushing them. So they have to be calling them. And maybe the university will rise them one time. If you continue this result, after this semester, we will be asked to ask you to go. Withdraw. Forceful withdrawal. Nothing is propelling them. There's no purpose for the schooling. It was just a phase of life they are just ticking. Okay, now in the university. There's a force that can push you where you get more clarity while in school and after school. It's called purpose. The schooling is for a season. But that season is meant to be with a reason. In actual fact, you are meant to be in school based on purpose. And I mean, a number of us didn't get this way. I mean, myself inclusive. Well, all I did was just to look at my subject gifts. Well, I'm good in this and that. Okay, I think I'll be good in this program. And then that was just my initial choice. But perhaps if I had this much more. That's why one of my areas of calling and passion is to help young adults get it early on. So we go into high schools. We help them at the early stage, before the time they even get into university. But this intervention is for you. Now you're in university. Because there's still something you must get now before you get out of university. Your course of study ideally is meant to have been with your course of life. Your course of life is your purpose. Your course of study is meant to have been in line with it. Although, not one particular course of study will prepare you for your course of life. There are still going to be many courses. But any one of them should be in line with your course of life. So you hear people say what they do for a living. I mean, you just meet somebody, I found a guy, what do you do now? Well, I'm a digital marketer. Well, I'm in social media, this. Oh, well, I manage this. Oh, well, I do this. People are always excited, and they don't even wait for you to ask them. They say, hi, my name is this. I do this. Great. Next up, okay, ask them. Why do you do what you do? Cricket. What do you mean, why do I do what I do? It's not for money we're doing what we're doing. Why we're doing what we're doing. They're not sure of their purpose for living, but they know what they are doing for living. Your purpose for living is more important than what you do for living. If you're not careful, schooling is just preparing you to do something for living, but that's not going to give you the fulfillment life has to offer you. So finish from school, get a job, do the job for 30 years, and then retire, and then die. Is that it? Is that it? And for a number of people, even the work is not even in their area of purpose, so they are cringing and lamenting about the job. They thank God every Friday TGIF, and Mondays they are praying. They are already shouting that the weekend was too short. You know those people now. Do you want to join them? Is that the same? Is that the same thing you want to do? What can you do? You see, I want you to shift your attention beyond some of the current things you place your attention in. I mean, and these current things are not bad, but your attention needs more things, even while you're in the university. And I call this the paradox of attention. I mean, people plan a lot about where to live, whether they are renting an apartment or they want to buy an apartment or buy a house. I mean, they are doing a whole lot of research. They are checking. They come for site visit. They are seeing it. I mean, they are inspecting it. Okay, how big is the room? Okay, how many bedrooms are there? Okay, what's the square meter? They place their attention a whole lot on that. I mean, it's great. What about this? Some of you are already having intention. Or more. I know the car I won't buy. That car. You even pasted it in your room. Maybe it's on your wall. That's your dream. Maybe after today you go pull it down after this workshop, because when you are ready, even the one you get will be a newer model to what you are putting on the wall. I once had a picture one time growing up. I pasted this on my wardrobe. I wanted to get an Hyundai i10, and many of us are i10, just like a Picanto kind of smallish vehicle, 2 doors. I mean, how on the earth I was thinking of that? Some people even go to the extent that they see some vehicles they like and they're just telling, that's the car, that's my dream car. They're touching it, they're tapping into it. That's a child. Don't pay attention to all of that. That's not what needs your major attention now. It should be a norm. A car is not something you are planning off. It's just it's a means of mobility to make your journey easy, to give you ease. So shouldn't be something you are placing so much attention to. Can change it as quick as you can. I mean, this one, many people are guilty about it. Some people are in year 2, they're already planning their graduation. You make rice. You do small chops. And that type you did for our friend in that one that graduated, the one we had that last convocation. You do that small chops for me. You take my pictures. You just do as they call me for. You just take short video. I put it on social media. That you let me take that one. Thanks man. They are planning all that. It's good. It's just the excitement. And they say, oh well, you're a graduate of this. Everybody's planning and looking forward to that day, which you will get, no problem. But you need to think beyond that. This one is a major one. Everybody's. I know you want to appear so well, but the shirts you put on star shirts, I know, but there's more than that. I know your dresses are amazing, pristine, but there's more than that. If you see some guys that are white shirts, no stain on it. If they stand, shirt where they stand now. They stand, that kind of shirt. They wear like this. This is when I was in secondary school. I thought guys used to pull their shirt out. So I saw some guys, some senior colleagues, when they wear their shirt, as they wait to fold over their belt. So when I wear my shirt, I will be pulling it out. Come on. But there's more. Your attention is needed in more other areas than this. Attention is needed in more other areas than that. That's the paradox of attention. And so let me go back to that story. As I was going we were going to the to the lecture room, and I was telling you about my friend. We were going for a lecture, and then we were just about entering the hall, and then my friend just asked me. He said to me, Abraham. We were just talking casually. I don't think it was really a serious conversation we were having. I've even asked him many years after we left school. I said, do you remember we were walking to this class? You asked me. He said he never remembered. Wow. Maybe God used him as an angel, as he's speaking to a number of people at this call, this workshop. And the question he asked me is simple. He said, Abraham, is there more to your life than this? I said, what do you mean? He said, beyond this course we are studying in school, is there more to your life? I was forced I was first startled. I mean, nobody has ever asked me a question like that. What do you mean? Is there more to my life than this? Are we not here together to study this course, finish and get a job? Which one is there more to my life than this? He said to me, I mean, he was still asking. Maybe I didn't even know how, because he didn't really guide me on what to do. But all I could remember from that incident was this major question he asked me. And because I couldn't give him an answer, I felt so bad. I couldn't even attend the class if I'm not wrong. Or maybe I attended and my attention was off. I went to the hostel, the rest of the day was just kind of bad. And then I started thinking about this. I felt so bad. I mean, a brilliant guy like me, somebody asked me a question, I didn't have an answer to him. What's happening? I mean, why would that happen? I needed clarity beyond my grades. My grades were good, but I needed more beyond that. And then I had a walk with God that time, at least to an extent. I knew God. I mean, I was a child of God, and I remember that anytime there's any question you can answer, there's someone you can ask that question. Jeremiah 33 verse 3, call to me and I will show you great and mighty things you do not know. So I just took 3 days out. I just took 3 days out of that week. I just made it a personal, a personal fast and prayer myself. And I was just brooding all through that 3 days. All through the 3 days. My prayer was just simple. I was just the same request. And I was just asking God, well, thank you for creating me. Thank you for admission to the university. Thank you for good grades. I'm now in the 4th year. I'm in the 2nd semester, about to graduate. But some days ago, my classmates asked me, is there more to my life than the course we are studying? And I couldn't answer him. So I'm asking, I want to know, I don't want to assume through life. Is there more to my life beyond the course I'm actually studying? Can you show me and tell me, is there more to my life? That was my prayer. That was all I was asking for. That was all I was asking for. I was doing well in the course of study, no doubt. I had good grades, no doubt. But I just needed more clarity beyond the grades, beyond the course of study. 2nd day of my fast, that was my prayer. Studying. I mean, before this time, I had studied about purpose. I knew that, I've had people say things. I've even written notes about it, and I've even read books about it, but I didn't just have an experiential touch of what that really meant. Well, I went my 3rd day, my prayer was still the same. I remember that 3rd day I was in my hostel. I was just about to break my fast that evening. And I was just praying. One of the things you do when you pray, especially as a child of God, is that you don't just pray and you just hit the road and you run. Prayer is not just about you talking. Prayer is communication. Can somebody call you and all through the call you are the one talking, you don't hear the person? Is that possible? So how come you have been praying like that? So give time to listen. So I had said my prayers again, and I was just quiet to listen. Quiet to listen in my spirit. Roommates could be making noise. Luckily, my roommate was not in the room that day. Floor mates may be making noise. Everywhere could be noisy, but keep the attention of your spirit quiet. And listen to the voice of your spirit. Listen to the inner nudges. Listen to the voice of your conscience. It's always there. God was speaking to me. And I started writing down. I'm sending to young people. Okay? Instilling the heart of fear of God. Teach them my ways. Bring them to my knowledge. Establish my word in their lives. Okay? What does this mean? I was writing them. Next day I came back again. And I asked. And I just went back again to God in prayer. But this course I'm studying, so what's make I do with this course now? Don't be. You see, he's your father. If you're actually his son or you are his daughter, he's your father. Be open to him. Tell him. He's touched with the feelings of your infirmities. He knows everything you need. And I just asked him. I was just vulnerable and open. So this course we're studying, what should I do with this one now? That was my prayer. And he said, well, you're still fine. You're on track. Build development centers across the world. Yeah. Okay. Started a research that day. I opened up a folder on my computer and I started saving things I was studying about what God had told me. Luckily, there was an association on campus then by this same friend that asked me that question. We're about 10. Every evening we're meeting somewhere in the hostel and we're just always sharing together. We're about finishing from school, so I can't remember the name. We called the group, and everybody will share, what their vision, the visions they are getting. Not now, remember, not their own plan, not their, because most times those plans are always selfish. Not their selfish plans, but the visions they were getting in their spirit. These were like-minded people who had prayed a similar prayer like I prayed. They were getting some nudges in their spirit. Everybody was sharing. It was such an amazing network of people. I think we were about 10. We just stay in a circle, and then when we're done, we'll pray about it. And we had these worksheets we used where you begin to now analyze and research about what the word God was telling you. And I remember that day I went on Google for the first time, and I imputed these two keywords: youth development. I never knew what those two words meant. I just imputed it for the first time: youth development. I thought they were just two words coming together. I mean, you'll be surprised how you hear in the voice of your conscience words you never knew before. I also checked, one of the words I also checked was instill. I never had it before my life of studying English. What does instill mean? I checked. It was actually a word. It meant something. Okay. It still means to pour in gradually. Pour in gradually. Okay. I started researching every keyword from all that happened during my fast. I started thinking about it. What does this mean? Okay, what does God want me to do from this? Right? I mean, this is a whole lot conversation I can't finish within this time. I have coaching and membership programs that walk you through on these. Feel free to check up my website if you need more guidance on that. But what actually happened was that something happened that day. Suddenly, I was not thinking about my own selfish needs alone. My life was it was like my head was bigger than my size of the head. I felt like I felt larger than life. That was how I felt. I felt there was so much of an expectation and burden for the world why I was created. Suddenly life just made more meaning to me. Suddenly my height was not, before that time I thought I was short, but suddenly I just knew that, oh, I'm the best of height for the reason God created me. When I was in secondary school, someone was actually bullying me in school. And it was even in SS3. Can you imagine someone bullying in SS3? Senior bullying fellow senior. But I mean, I couldn't just, I didn't have, my esteem was not up enough because I didn't know much about life. But suddenly I was like, life made more meaning to me. Waking up made more meaning to me. Having a shower made more meaning to me. Showing up made more meaning to me. Impacting other people made more meaning to me. Wow. So I got into the master's program when I finished my first degree, and I knew what thesis topic to work on because of the clarity I also got. I mean, I had grown in clarity from that time, and I was already making lots of contributions gradually. I was looking for where to serve and volunteer and contribute. I knew my life was about raising young people and molding minds. So I knew, so even when it came to a job to get from a job to enroll, to get engaged in, I knew the kind of jobs that should be in line with my purpose. Everything was falling in place, not accidentally, but because I chose it to be intentionally. I want to ask you today, and I'm shifting the table to you like my friend did the other day. I'm asking you, is there more to your life than this? Write this down. Is there more to your life than the course you're studying in the university? Beyond your grades. I don't care what the grades are. Even if you're on a third class, there's more to your life. But have you found that more? Have you found the more? It's the more that will give you clarity beyond school. It's the more. I'm going to close, and I may not even finish my presentation, but let me see how I can just round this off. We live in a world where everybody wants to be successful, but success has almost become an illusion. It's become just the buzzword. I want to be successful. I want to be successful. To the extent that some people are even killing other people in quotes to be successful. But what is success? My definition of success I like the way Masmoro puts it. He says success can only be defined by purpose and measured by obedience. So in what it means literally is that success, you are only successful when you have fulfilled God's purpose for your life. If you have not done that, you are not successful. And no one has the capacity to say you are successful or not. Only the one who sent you on the purpose can say who is successful or not. I know social media does not tell us that. Yeah, that's the masses. You just see ephemeral things. Once you see a car, you see a ride, you see a beautiful picture, you see a good wristwatch, a good laptop. Just this guy is successful. This guy don't, that kind of stuff. No. Only God can define who is successful in the end of the equation and who is not. Those who are obedient to the purposes of God for their lives are the real successful people. And so I want to remind you this, in case you've forgotten, that it's not just about the school you are in right now or this current phase you are in school. Life is a journey. It's a journey. Some people tell me, well, Dr. Abraham, let me just enjoy the journey. Make I just cruise now. Let me chill. Let me just enjoy now. Why is life so serious now? Why are you so serious about life? I've told you that. I'm just going to remind you again and again. Like we shared earlier in Module 1. I'm not a fool. Only a fool treats life like a joke. It's a journey. If it's a journey, okay, do you know anybody who started a journey and never knew where he was going to? You just pick the car key, you just start the car and just make I just enjoy traffic. I just want to stay for traffic for 3 hours. Have you seen anybody like that? Wouldn't you be worried for the person? What did you say? Where are you going to? Even the shortest distance, even if it's your you want to barb, the salon as a destination. So life is a journey. You're not just driving because you have a car. Everybody has this imaginary car we are driving. But you're not just driving because you just feel like driving. You are driving because there's a destination. It is when there's a destination that the journey even becomes compelling, such that even when there's traffic, I know where I'm going to. Have you seen people who own cars? They are different from people who enter bus. If there's traffic, the person that does not own the car will just come out, take bike, motorcycle, or whatever. But the one who owns the car owns the journey. I'll stay through this traffic. So even when you face hurdles through life, this is my journey. I'll stay through it. I'll cross the hurdle. I know where I'm going to. It's a journey. This season in school will soon be over. This season, how you treat this season will determine the next chapter you are entering into. So don't treat this season casually. I'm free now. I can go anywhere I like. I told a guy on Sunday, I said, do you know that in the National Youth Service camp, like we have in Nigeria, NYC camp, there is what they call exeat. Do you know? An exeat is a documentation you get to approve you to leave a camp or not. I told him, do you know there's exeat? He said, no. I said, that's why you're behaving like this. So even in that place, you can't just leave the camp. If you want to leave, you must apply for an exeat. Don't wait until people put guardrails for your life. Put it yourself. Imagine you're on the 24th story of an IRS building, and then you're on the balcony, and there are no railings on the balcony. Won't you be scared? But that's how some people are living. Yes, they're in university, but they're just living unguardedly. I just do anything I like now. There, make I cruise. My life. I must enjoy my life. Oh no. Put the guardrails. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. It's a season. If I blow this season, I'm blowing this part of my journey, and I may not even know how to shop in the next one. This season is part of your journey as a whole. So 2 things you need to do as we close right now in this module. 1, you need to grow in clarity of purpose. 2 is that you need to align your life to that purpose. And I'll show you this quickly. Number 1, growing in clarity of purpose. Ask yourself cogent questions like this. What is life to you? Write these questions down. These are major coaching questions I want you to note down. And when we are done, this is an assignment I'm giving to you. We're going to return from here, and we're going to review our learnings from here. What is life to you? What is life to you? Think about it and write this down. What is life to you? What is life to you? How did you arrive on earth? How did you arrive here on earth? You need to know how you arrived. If you didn't know, maybe you may just be living anyhow. Your body is so precious. You can't do anything just with your body. Because if you misuse the body, the spirit has no legal access again on the earth. So some people say, it's not my body. No, your body is a temple. So you can't just do anything with it. I know it's your organ. You can't just play with it. No. Yes, nobody's seeing you, but you can't just do anything with it. What gave you this life? Who gave you this life? Right? Number one, what is life to you? Number two, how did you arrive here on earth? Number three, who gave you this life? When you are able to answer those questions, next thing I want you to ask yourself is this: where am I driving to? Where am I driving to? There are two kinds of destinations. Actually, one is not a destination. One is just, we call it a rat race. Why? The person does not have a destination. He's just going around the orbit. Many of us remember swing. That's the picture of it. You are just swinging around an orbit. You are just oscillating. Yes, it's sweet, it's soothing. You are enjoying it. I love swing actually. I actually want to install a swing in my house, but I've not just done it. I'll still do it. You are swinging. I didn't swing so much when I was a younger person, so I want to swing now. But it's just sweetening to you. But are you moving by swinging? You're not really progressing. You're just enjoying the motion. The real motion happens when there's a destination. That's the real motion. So when you hear the word destiny, it's simply meaning because we are created as human beings with a destination. A life has no meaning. A life has no value without knowing its purpose. No value. Your value comes. You see what happened to me that day? Suddenly, wow. I saw myself so valuable for the first time in my life. Oh, the world needs me this valuable. I'm here to add this value to the world. And don't worry, whatever you have gone through in life, your value is still in place. Don't worry, your value is not lost. It's just locked inside your purpose. It's not lost. It's not lost. Let me show you one way you can use in discovering God's purpose. I've shown you earlier when I was sharing my story. You see, one of the ways you can do it is just about asking. We call it intimacy. I'll give an example. There's a difference between meeting somebody and knowing somebody. So maybe you meet somebody on campus, maybe tomorrow or yesterday you met this person, maybe in the dining hall or you went somewhere and you just met this person for the first time. Maybe you guys exchange conversation. Hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you. What program are you in? Oh, I'm in engineering. Oh, what? That's serious. That's also my faculty. Okay, nice to meet you. So where's your hostel? Oh, well, I'm in this hostel. Okay, great. Do you mind sharing your contact? Okay, why not? If that happens, you've only met the person. You don't know the person yet. Now, you discover purpose not by just meeting God. Some of us meet God as religion. We meet him maybe on Sundays, or you just casually even go online. Like, we see what they do now. Choir, they sing. Okay, I'll come back. You're just casual about it. You've not found a relationship. You never understood that my spirit was sent from heaven to the earth, and it is through my spirit that I can grow in clarity. It's not my senses. My sense is limited. Intimacy comes when you now grow beyond just meeting the person. You grow to the point of knowing the person, and knowing will take time. So if you have not even grown in your knowledge of God, finding purpose may not even be the first goal I'm going to recommend. What I will recommend first is growing in your knowledge of God, growing in intimacy. Just knowing who God is. Okay, some people say God is not real. Is that so? Do your research. Know God for yourself. Some of us just knew God by our parents. I was just born, yeah. Know God for yourself. Now is the season you need to do that. The world you are going out to will confuse you if you don't know where you are and where you belong to. Know God for yourself. Curate your dealings with God and document your dealings with God. That's what happens. I like the way Requirement puts it. He says, without God, life has no purpose. So, purpose is not, you can't find purpose outside God. And it's not about religion. It's just about understanding the fact that your spirit was sent here by God. Spare some minutes and we'll wrap this up. He says, without purpose, life has no meaning. And without meaning, life has no significance. It's not the certificate that gives you significance. No. Many people have PhDs, but they are still empty inside their soul. Some people are the departure lounge of life. A departure lounge of life is those who are about to leave the world earth realm. And then you're asking them, they are telling you, how I wish when I was 30. Oh, when I was 20. I spoke to an elderly person some time back. He said, you are lucky. You found it early. It's not luck. It's intentionality. I can still tell you, like I just shared with you, how I took 3 days out to grow in clarity about that area of life. Is that luck? No. Your certificate does not give you significance. Your grade does not give you significance. Look at it this way. Everybody has a phone, right? And then your phone, before you can make a call with your mobile phone, number one, you must have a SIM card. Yes or yes? Let me know, please. Let me know. Communicate. Let me know. Share me. Let's know we're together on the same page. If I don't have a SIM card yet, the phone is just there. The phone is not as valuable as it's designed to be. So once I slot in my SIM card, my network card, then suddenly the phone comes to a point of value. So your body alone does not add value to your life, and your senses alone, as good as they are, don't add value to your life as they are meant to. What adds value to your life is the SIM card. The SIM card is your spirit, the spirit you have in your being. The spirit is actually what even gives the body this. I'm not aware about this word. There's this, vernacular word they call it. They say palasa. You know what they call it, palasa? It's just case, right? But when I put the SIM inside of it, I can now make a call. Guess what? Some people have been so bothered that, well, I can't just know what to do. I don't even know how to communicate with God with my spirit. It's simple. You have the SIM card. The Spirit of God is inside of you. All you need to do is to activate the SIM cards. How many of you remember when the telecommunication companies were sending messages that, go activate your line, else we're going to disconnect you, do this, do that, give us your data. That's what happens. Yes, you have the Spirit of God in you. It's not enough. Yes, you have the engine inside a car. It's not enough. You need to ignite the engine, and the engine starts, working. It starts shaking, becomes hot. This car, the hot is working, and then you start moving. That you have the Spirit of God in you is not enough. The process of activating your spirit, man, we call it salvation, and it's not even about religion. Follow through with how I'm explaining this to you. You might not have heard about it this way. When I put the SIM card inside the phone, I can now make a call. And then I am not just calling emergency lines. I'm making a call. Hello. And then my call is ringing on the other line. So you've arrived on this earth. You were not just dumped on this earth. You think you were dumped, but you were not dumped. You are not dumped because you still have connection to your source. Have you noticed before when a person dies, they call that service homegoing service? What they mean is that this person was actually sent here in the first place. And after he died, his spirit goes back to where he came from. Right? And his body is just on the earth, buried. And so my spirit is that core of me, is the SIM card I can use to communicate with God. Not your five senses, not the apps on the phone. My spirit is what makes the call. That's why I need to grow in that area as well. So in module 1, we talked about not just some retarded growth. We talked about growing in all it. So if you have not been growing in this area, or perhaps you've just been growing is the new shirts you have bought this year, the new books you have bought, the new textbooks and all those technical things you have done about just your school alone. Take it a step further. Build this core of your being is your spiritual being. That's what connects you to God. That's what makes you connect to God. And when you do that, you're now able to dial and make some calls and ask some deep-seated questions. You can begin to ask God questions like, why did you create me? Why? And he can respond to you. Just as you can ask somebody and the person can respond to you. It's as simple as that. For what cause am I born? What cause? These were questions I asked. Why am I on earth? Who are you sending me to? He said, I'm sending you to young people. Who is God sending you to? That will determine your audience. Your purpose is not about a religious thing. It doesn't mean you're going to be a pastor. Your purpose only tells you why you'll be doing whatever you'll be doing. So purpose infuses mission into your work. So someone says, I want to be an engineer. Why? If you don't know the reason, it means you've not found purpose. So I play a number of roles in various parts in the value chain in education and youth development, as an educator, as a life coach, as an author, as a speaker and trainer, as a consultant. I play a number of roles like that because of my purpose, and my purpose is to raise young people. So I ask myself, what will help me to raise young people? What will help me to mold minds? What roles? Okay? Oh, it's not going to be this. Oh, it's going to be this. That's how you choose. So purpose is not about that you're going to be in a fourfold, fivefold ministry gifts. Yes, if it's that's God's calling you into, great. But it's just about infusing mission and why you should be the one doing it. And then you just know the audience you are sent to. You know the market, the industry you are sent to. Who are you sending me to? What do I do with them? What do I do with them? Okay? What do I do with them? Deep-seated questions. Note these questions down. Spend time to think about them. This will give you clarity beyond your grades while you're in the university. I'm going to ask you the balanced set of questions, and then we close there and take questions. Please, I wanted to drop your questions in the chat. Just start with letter Q. If you have any question for module 1 and 2, please put it in the chat. We're going to take it right about now. Right, thank you for your patience. We're just closing it, right, not far from now. I want to ask you these other questions. These ones you can actually ask yourself. There are many human problems in the world, global problems across the world. Which one is a concern for you? Think about it. There are many problems in the world. I saw 3 major problems as concern for me. Number 1, I saw the life skills deficiency. I saw that young people were not built up holistically. Yes, they are schooled, but they lack other skills in other areas of life. Socially is low, emotionally poor, spiritually not there. But though they have the grades, that was a problem for me. I called it a life skill deficiency. I saw another problem. I found that people want to achieve their goals, but their goals are scattered. Their goals are not connected. So their goals are not incongruent. So how can I help people have goals that are congruent? That was a problem. The third problem that was a concern for me I found that there were no places for young people to grow. There were no curated environment for young people to grow. Yes, there were schools, there were churches, there were malls and markets and different places, but is that an environment where they can grow holistically? It's not that many. And even where they are, the focus is just maybe for them to acquire vocational skills. What about other areas of their lives? I called it a problem of learning environments. Development centers are not there. You see it now. Which ones is of a concern to you? Not all human problems is of a concern to me. I just shared the 3 major ones that are of concern to me. What problem has this concern brought? For me, this concern has brought a lot of issues. I see young people. When I see some young people, the other day, many years back, I was just transiting, and I was at this bus stop. I was waiting for somebody for some minutes, I think close to 15 or 30 minutes, and I saw some guys sitting before a newspaper vendor. It was a Monday morning, 7 a.m. And these guys were there for 30 minutes. They were just gisting. The way, now man, you gonna win them. Why that guy play like that? That guy no get sense. Even at me, I could not score that goal. That was what they were discussing for 30 minutes. I felt like crying. There's more to their lives than that. That's a concern for me that the problem I shared earlier on has brought. Many other things. I see people of various age range, young adults alike, advanced in age, but what they are doing, is there not more to your life than this? It's a concern. They're not living to the full of their capacity and potential. What problem has this brought for you? You need to think about it. Lastly, which set of people does this problem affect? Which set of people does this problem affect? This is amazing. The thin line between purpose and vision now is that you found God's purpose, no doubt, but you now need to convert into vision. Vision talks about sight. And so sight now talks about you shutting your eyes literally. I mean, you just want to see with the eyes of your spirit, and then you're now trying to see. It's like when an architect does a design, it plans the facility, and just shows the blueprint. But the blueprint is just two-dimensional, length and breadth. It's not enough. So the client is saying, can I see how it will look? Show me how this thing will look. I want to see it. And then the architect produces a 3D visualization and shows the client, this is how it will look. And the client is in, oh, wow, let's start this building because of what he has seen. So it's not enough for you to just find your purpose as 2D. God has shown you, you have written it down. Turn it into a vision. See it in 3D. How does it look? What do you see yourself doing? I see myself. What legacies do you see yourself bequeathing in the world? What legacies do you see yourself drawing out from that purpose? What organizations, what in products, what inventions do you see drawing out from this purpose? That is now what we call vision. And again, vision is not ambition. It's just like a pregnant woman. She knows she's pregnant. She knows inside of her something just happened to her. That day I just connected with life, and I knew there was more meaning I just found from life. But that was not enough. I know I'm now pregnant. Some of you are pregnant right now, but you've not seen the pregnancy. That's why you are still moving with other people who are not pregnant. You can't wait. You can't afford to do that. You have to work with other people who are pregnant. They will call you sly. No worry, let them call you sly. Your life is more guarded than that. You need to work with other people who are pregnant like you, visionary like you. Help them from far. Don't roll with them. Help them from far. And what does that woman do? She goes for a scan. She draws this ultra scan, and then the ultrasound scan shows the baby. She's seeing as the baby is moving in the womb. She's seeing, and they're saying, and you can even see the sex of the baby, as the case may be. And she just, so vision simply is a glimpse of the purpose. You are seeing it in 3 dimensions. Everything God tells you, shut your eyes and see it in pictorial form. If you can, get it in picture form. Put some images on it. That's what we now call vision boards. Images that look like that thing. Everywhere around me are vision boards. My laptop is a vision board. My phone wallpaper is a vision board. At home I have vision boards. Everywhere my office is vision board. See them. See them every day. So you are literally drawing yourself to it. It's like a magnet. It's pulling you and attracting to itself. That's what happens. So the imagination God gave you is so you can take a thought of your purpose even while you are in this present realm. Is that not amazing? That's a gift. That's a gift. And again, this purpose is not ambition. Ambition is just about self. Ambition is me, myself, my family. Those people that will be saying, so what do you want to do after school? Or more, when I'm done from school, I will. Once you begin to hear things like that, this guy is just ambition. Is it bad? Not bad. Some people are living life based on ambition. But there's more than that. There's more than that. Why live for ambition where you can live for vision? Yeah. Imagine. I'm going to stop it right here, and I'm going to just take Q&A. So I want to just drop in the message, drop in the questions in the chat. Let's see how many questions we can take, and then we're done from here tonight. This is amazing, right? Clarity basically is just about the fact that once you find your purpose, you harmonize all areas of your life to that purpose. So you harmonize your career to that. The work you do is now in alignment to the purpose, right? The people you roll with are not just any other people. It's not just because the person is your bunkmate, that's why the person is your friend. No, you are moving with people who are in line or going in that same destination where you're going to. Your emotion, every area of your life is in alignment. That's what alignment means, right? That's what alignment means. And let me also say this is very vital before I take the Q&A. There's a deception that some people say, oh, well, when I work in purpose, I'm going to be poor. That's a big deception. There's fulfillment and profiting in your purpose. Let me give you the picture. Inside your purpose, you don't only get reward. You don't only get financial reward. So people always think, I have to do this one for money. Then I'll now do this one for purpose. No. Inside your purpose, you get the financial reward. You get the joy. You get the impact. Do you know what impact means? Impact is when you can't quantify by monetary term. Impact is when you are celebrating your birthday, you hear people tell you that thank God you are born. That's impact. Your life is now counting for beyond just being alive. You are living a significant life. Inside of you, you feel larger than life. You feel fulfilled. There's a meaning to life than just what is happening around you. That's what you get when you live like this and you grow in clarity like this? Well, this is amazing. This is amazing. So you can harmonize all areas of life, all areas of life, all areas of life. I'll close by reminding you that it's a journey, right? And you need to know the destination, growing clarity on the destination and how to go about it, right? I want to pray for a few persons here, perhaps. Will you just sense that you don't even have a relationship yet with God, and because of that, you can't even start to grow in clarity. Because of that, you can't even connect with your spirit to God. It has not, it has not always worked. You didn't even you just thought, it was just your life. You could just live by yourself. I could just use my senses. But you have a new understanding of it today, and you just want to start a new relationship with God today. You want your spirit to be reconnected back to God, and you now want to start a relationship whereby you can actually begin to hear God's voice. Let God direct you. I want to pray with you if you are that person. I just want to take this moment as a serious moment, and just bow your heads wherever you are listening to me, and just tell God, well, God, I'm so sorry. I've always relegated you. I didn't know that you're actually the core of my being. I thought it was just about my life. I thought it was just about school. I thought it was just about my grades. I didn't know much about this. I'm so sorry. Please have mercy on me. Forgive me. I'm sorry of the way I've lived. I was a child. I want to be mature right now. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Have mercy on me. Are you praying that prayer? Pray that prayer consciously today. Consciously pray that prayer consciously. It's a new journey. It's a new phase for you. It's a new journey to maturity, and it starts this way. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm starting a new relationship with you today. I welcome the gift of your Son Jesus into my heart. Save me. Be my Lord. Be my Savior. Take me onto life. Write my name in the book of life. When I'm done in the journey on earth, when you call me home, let me reign with you in heaven. In Jesus' name. I'm going to pray with you. If you can't, put your right hand on your chest as a witness to God. Father, I'm committing these persons who have prayed this prayer with you. They've opened up to you that they can't live life on their own. They thought they could do it themselves before, but they just got more meaning to it. They're activating the spirit man right now, and they're asking that you have mercy on them. Please forgive them their sins, forgive them the old ways of living. They are putting away childish things, and they are growing in maturity right now, and they are starting with you. Please come into their hearts. Be their Lord and Savior. Teach them how to go about life. Cause them to grow in wisdom beginning from today. Let them find favor before you and before others. Cause them to grow in spirit in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for saving them. In Jesus' name. Amen. You just started a new relationship. Your complexion is not going to change. Your height is not going to change. But something has changed in your spirit, man, right? And it's a new relationship. But just like every relationship, you need to nurse this relationship, right? You need to cherish this relationship. And one thing you do in a relationship is this: communication. What did I say? Communication. So when you wake up tomorrow, just say a word to God. Thank you, Jesus, for this morning. I love you. Thank you for seeing me through the night. And just tell him what you want. Just relate with him. Let him speak to you. Begin to nurse that relationship and get the word of God. The word of God is what shows you all about your spirit and how your spirit should navigate this earth even while you are in school. The word of God, the Bible, shows you everything about your being, right? And it shows you how to navigate life. That's going to help in your relationship. Those two key things, cherish them. Get to fellowship with other people. If you're not careful, if you don't go with fellowship, this fire you have can go down. So go with other people who have the same fire and start to nurse this relationship you have. You'll be amazed how you keep growing in maturity and clarity. I want to say big congratulations to you. Feel free to reach out to me on DM on the group, or send me a mail, or just let me know in any of my social media. Send me a DM that you pray this prayer. I could pray along with you as well, right? Big congratulations to you. Clarity is not one day, but as you keep growing, your clarity will also keep growing as you keep going, right? I'm going to see if there are questions. I see. So someone's asking. Yes, you get replays of it. You get replays. Are there other questions you want me to answer right now? This is an opportunity. Put it in the chat. How has this module 2 be for you? We're closing less than 5 minutes from now. So let me know if you have a question. Just put in the chat right now. We'll take the question and then we'll shut down today. Wow, amazing, amazing. Please put in the chat. Let's know if there are questions, right? And then I'm just gonna respond to that quickly right now. quickly right now, let me know. Awesome. I mean, this has been amazing. I'm excited in my spirit, and I'm grateful to God for everyone who is under the sound of my voice right now, who's been intentional to this. I mean, it's rare to see young adults pay attention. We can pay attention to watch a full match, but for a learning session like this, some people have signed out long ago, but you stayed up to this time. It's rare, and I want to celebrate you for it. Awesome, awesome. If there are no questions, I'm just going to end it right here today. But again, of course, when we come back on day two, we can take any question you may have, or you can drop in the chat, in the group. If there are questions that come to your mind later on, you can take them, right? Let me know. Give me your experience today. That's how we're going to sign out. In 1 or 2 words, describe your experience today. Emmanuel says it's been very enlightening, a time well spent. Amazing. I'm glad to hear that, Emmanuel. Thank you for that. Put in the chat. Let's know. Rinze says growing with clarity. Let's know how this has been of great value to you, right? Let me know. Put that, and then we're just gonna sign out here. Let me know how this has been of a great value to you. I'm glad to have been able to facilitate this experience for you. So please come in early tomorrow. Let's get it going. If possible, we're going to start 15 minutes before time, so that we're going to take Q&A that you may have before we hit the road, running by 7 p.m. West African time. If you know any other person you want to invite to still join, send them the registration link. They can still join. They will get a replay of today, and they can still join for the balance of the 2 days. But let me know if this has been of great value to you. This is amazing. I wish I had this when I was in the university. It was not as methodical like this and practical, right? Ogo says a very good time here. What it's awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Samuel says thank you. It was actually worth the stay. Very holistic. Glad for that. Thank you, everybody. I'm saying a sign out from here. I'm just going to leave in the lobby with my sign out song. Keep being amazing and